Hey there, this is Aaron, and I just want to talk about saying things like sir, ma'am, and aunt, and uncle, and things like that. Well, basically, obviously, I'm one of those type of people that don't say those type of words anymore. I actually stopped when I was around when I first turned 21, actually, maybe 20. I came to the thought where I was thinking, why should I even say it? I never believe that there's a meaning to it anymore. Because I ask myself, what does it mean? When I call you sir, what does that mean? I guess a person might tell me, well, it's a way of showing respect. But then I'm wondering, okay, so what about me then? I'm a fucking adult. Why the hell didn't you say it to me then? See, that's the thing. Me looking the way I look, sounding the way I sound, just being young in general, I never get a chance to hear sir or ma'am. So, and even at my age, being an adult at the same time, never get a chance to hear it. It's rare that anyone ever says that to me. In fact, I noticed adults that I've been around, such as my part of my family, and other people that I've seen, they never say it to each other either. The only time they ever use that word is during, business situations. Okay, that's understandable. You show respect for fucking money, obviously. That'll be the only time you ever show that kind of respect. For money. But freely, it's like when they're expecting younger people, such as myself and people even younger, to say that to them, they never use the word. So what's the point of teaching a younger person that word when they get older, they're just going to be just as fucked up as everybody else and never actually, give that type of respect, that same respect, mutually, to anyone else. It's like they get older and they're like, I'm an adult now, I'm better than them, screw them. But I'm not going to be that harsh, but I just kind of think, maybe I should say, someone might say that, a younger person should say that, because it's a way of not only just showing respect, but kind of, well, I guess I don't quite understand, because, what else does it really do? To me, it's like kind of putting down a young person and saying, you're dumb, fuck you, you have to call me sir because you don't know anything, I know everything, so listen to me. To me, that's kind of like, it's not like you're saying that, but to me, that's what the situation's all about. Because why else would you say it? If that was not the case, if adults did not believe that that was the case, if a kid really was on the same level as an adult, there would be no other reason to actually consider an adult as a sir, to actually say that, while you never get that same respect in return. See, the type of person I am, and it may be my fault, I'm the type of person that if I were to call a grown, an older man or an older woman by those names such as sir or ma'am, I would do the same to a little kid. To me, that's the type of respect that I have for younger people and older people. I put them on the same level. Yes, I am aware that younger people aren't going to have as much as intelligence, but I'm also aware that an older person, while they may have more intelligence, their intelligence may be wrong. They may have more beliefs, but some of their beliefs may be incorrect. And just because a person is young, even a little kid, has very few beliefs, they may be on the right track sometimes. They may be, listening correctly to their parents like they should or something like that. Wherever they got their beliefs from, whatever source it was, could be the correct source. So when I hear them out, I feel, I should give them a chance. Not just, shut them up or, silence them or anything like that, or expect them to always listen and never have a word or anything like that. I never really, I would never want any, if I was, for example, I guess in my 30s or 40s, I would never want a younger person to call me sir. To me, it's like, I'm not better than you just because I'm older. Age is nothing but a number. I've seen older people that were homeless. Apparently, they must be more dumb than any younger person with a home. Not more dumb, but not any better than a person who actually owns a home. I didn't mean to say dumb, but I couldn't find the right word for it. So anyways, yeah. Any older person can be wrong about what they do or their actions or choices or their advice. So to me, anybody can be learned from. I just don't see any reason to call a person sir, like as if they're better than you. It sucks that we already have to do it for money in business situations such as applying for jobs or maybe being in court. I remember I've been hearing a lot of people say sir or ma'am in court, and I know they look like the type of people that never say that back at home or anywhere, not even to their own mother. But when they're in court or something like that, or talking to an officer, that's when they say sir or ma'am a lot. And I kind of feel like it's kind of shitty. It just makes it, to me, it looks as if they're just putting themselves down below this person that they're talking to, and just putting this person that they're talking to, I guess maybe either on a, you can call it maybe either on a pedestal, or maybe on a throne or something, like as if they, well, it could be true. Like an officer, for example, like as if they rule over you. But technically, an officer does have more power than a regular citizen, I guess. But still, I would never want to speak as if they do. I would never want to speak as if they do, by like, lowering my own pride for that and disrespecting my own self by, putting myself down. Especially if the officer is not returning that same favor by calling me a sir. So, anyway, I just have more respect for myself. I do. I just, when I see people like my cousins, for example, they say it all the time, like maybe to my mom or to, other aunts within the family, and it just doesn't look right. I just feel like they're unreal a little bit to their own selves. I'm thinking like, they're, at least if you want to talk in an adult kind of sense, well, they're older than me. One of them is, I think, about like 23 or something. Why are they saying that? It just doesn't look right. Like, you're a grown man. You have power amongst your own self, at least. You have, at least, speech. The right to speak whenever you want, however you want, curse, whatever. At least you should, unless your mom disables it. She has control over you while you're in her household, and that is a different story. Anyway, at least, if I were them, I would sneak up and not ever say it if my mom wasn't around. If my mom was ever like that. Thankfully, my mom's not. She doesn't force me to say those words. She doesn't force me to say sir, ma'am. She used to when I was younger, but then when I grew up, I came to my own belief and I stopped saying it. I just say, whenever she calls my name, I just say yeah. I do respect her on one thing. She hates hearing the word what whenever she calls me. And I can understand, what sounds a bit hard, a bit sharp. And it's hard to make the word what sound nicer sometimes, when you're not meaning to make it sound mean at all, but somehow the way the word's formed just makes it sound, a lot heavier, with the WH in the beginning, that sound, and the A sound is hard. It's hard to make the A sound within that word sound soft, unless you make it, invisible. And then the T sound is a bit, it's kind of a bit sharp. So that word can be, a bit heavy, and she doesn't like it. I respect it. I never use it, so I don't use it on anyone anyway, so it does sound a bit heavy. Anyway, so I just say yeah, whenever she calls my name, I say yeah. I never say ma'am or anything like that. I just don't feel the need to. So, I don't like doing it. I used to do it when I was younger, and I used to kind of make up my own mind, beyond what I was taught. And say, yeah, I should do it because it's a way of showing respect. I want to show that I'm a nice guy, I'm a good guy. But then I realized I'm the type of person that thinks this way. I realized, wait a second, I am a good guy. I know I'm a good guy. Saying something that I don't really truly care about doesn't make me good anyway. I can go rob a bank any day now. I can do it tomorrow, even while I said ma'am today. So it just doesn't prove much, because it's nothing but a word. It's the sound that comes out of my mouth, and sounds that come out of a person's mouth is never enough. Obviously, it's always the actions and what they do. That's who they truly are. And just because I say ma'am, or I didn't curse back then, does not make up who I truly am. So that's why I do curse now, because I know who I am, and I'm going to prove that one day. Even if I didn't curse, I don't think it would be enough to prove it. It's just nothing but words. At least if people are smart enough, they wouldn't let my words, such as how I, speak, such as, the curse words, whether I curse or not, or whether I use polite words like ma'am and sir, they wouldn't allow that to really show my true personality, what my true motives are. Because even while I curse, and even while I no longer say sir or ma'am or aunt or uncle, I'm still saving this fucking planet. That's for sure. That is always the bottom line for me. That's who I am. Forever. So, that's the thing about that. I've seen people, I hate to, attack religious people. I'm not just attacking religious people. But religious people are usually known to be one of the most good people out there. Of course, we all know that they can be deceiving. But if you be realistic, I think they're more likely to be good at the very least. We have to be honest on that. More likely to be good than an actual person who has nothing to do with religion. But either way, they can still be, just as bad as everybody else. They're not good enough to say that they're good, at least. Just slightly better. At least in my opinion. Anyway, grabbing religious people, I've seen very deceiving religious people in my lifetime. They go to church and all that, they choose not to curse, but in the end, money still hypnotizes them, making them very deceiving. I mean, we already use money when we, give for offering in church. I don't think that's the way of God at all, if I had to predict. To me, the way of God would be more like brother and sister. And I don't think you ever give money to your brother and sister, just for participating in a family time. A family holding where you all gather around. You see what I mean? But that's not their fault. They can't help that. That's society. That's how you know society's fucked up. If religion is the way to go and something to follow, I think most religions, at least especially the Christianity religion, we can all agree that being brother and sister is the right way of God. But we're not brother and sister when we have to give up our money to a brother and sister for having a gathering. If you had a gathering in your own house, such as a little house meeting around within your own kids, would you give money? For what reason? Everything's free in your home. You want to make a sandwich for your kids? That's free. They receive for free. And then they also give for free whenever they help clean up the house. It's all free. You work together. Teamwork. See, we can't work as a team even in the Christian world, even in the religion world. See, religion is strong, but it's not that strong. Not compared to the harsh lifestyle that we have in this world. Think about it. We should be brother and sister, but we can't. Not everything's free, not even church service. When you're giving the offering, that's a must. It is awesome that you have a choice, but you're fucked up if you don't. Because truthfully, everybody needs money. And then that's where it goes back to, you have to know this lifestyle is fucked up. There's no way that nothing is free, because your own family is free. When you work for your family, you do that for free. So there's something that we're doing wrong in this world. So anyway, sir and ma'am. Well, I also don't say aunt and uncle. Whenever I'm around my family, I just call them by their first name. Unless they have a problem with it, just let me know. And for the sake of keeping our friendship alive, I will tell them, I will, do as they say and say, okay, yeah, Uncle Charlie. If you want me to call you Uncle Charlie, fine, But to me, it's like, I call them by their first name. I always thought that was showing more respect, because the first name was a special name, it was the first name that they were given. But nowadays, people are saying, fuck my first name. Call me Mr. Jones by my last name. Fuck my first name. Never say it. I don't know. No offense to people who are like that. It's tradition, life tradition. People are used to it, and now they can't help it, and they've gotten attached to it. Their heart is so attached to it. Now it's a magnet, and they're permanently believing that that's how life should be. You should never say, an adult's name by the first name. But with me, it's like, I kind of like the name Aaron. I'm not too fond of the name Jones. That's my last name. No offense to anybody who has that last name, but I like the name Aaron. Call me Aaron. Don't call me Mr. Aaron. Mr. sounds gay. No offense to anyone who wants to be called Mr. But it sounds boring. It's a bit too boring for me. I don't want to be called Mr. I'm not going to say it sounds old, but, me being young, I want to be called by my first name. until the day I die. I don't care how old I am. I see no reason to be called Mr. Aaron is my fucking name. So, I never say uncle, and I never say Mr. And I'm a good friend. It doesn't hurt me to say uncle or Mr., but I wait until they tell me to. Until they let me know, hey, I want to be called, with a Mrs. in front of my name. Can you do that? I can totally do that. Even though to me, vice versa, on their side, it's no big deal if I just call you by your first name. I mean, wouldn't you like that better? I guess you're getting tired of your first name. I don't know. Tradition. But, I feel like it's no big deal either way. But, I'll be the bigger man. Yeah. You hear me? I said I'll be the bigger fucking man. I guess you're not going to be the bigger man. You're not going to be the kind person to let life be easy on me or people like me and just say, hey, just call me by my first fucking name. No big fucking deal. It's just a word. It's a name. It's a special name too. It was given to me by my mother. Don't, you don't need to go the extra mile and say Mr. or Mrs. You could be the bigger man and do that, but I guess you won't. I'll be the bigger man then. I'll be the bigger man and I'll do that if a person wants. I know this is not a big deal, but I talk about everything. I speech about everything, and I kind of feel like this is a little thing I wanted to speech about. I was fussing around my room a little bit, walking around, talking to myself about this, so I couldn't help it. I guess it isn't a big deal, sir, ma'am, but it is important. I do believe it's important. I'll prove it because it's it's the way we have life. You see how complicated life is, and this is just one little thing amongst millions of things that are all complicated. This one little thing, for example, saying sir, ma'am, uncle, and aunt. We have now made it so complicated that, we've decided to say, okay, now it's also disrespectful to call an adult by their first name. But think about that for a second. Isn't that stupid? It doesn't make any sense. It's the first name that they were born with. There is no excuse. There can't be anything in history. There's no way someone can give me a good reason why it is wrong to say a person's name by their first name, no matter how old they are. But that's how complicated life has become, based off of kids, teenagers, and blah blah blah. It's that conquer that we have over younger people, and I don't like that type of conquer. No. In some households, it only causes some certain households to become strict because of that tradition. When they follow it, they go too far following it by saying, shut up, child, and never wanting their child to have a word for anything. So, it can start out small by saying, hey, you call me sir, to something large by saying, hey, you call me sir, and don't ever talk back to me, don't ever talk or whatever. Next thing you know, the child doesn't even have any speech, so you'll never know what's wrong with it. You'll never know why it does wrong, because you disabled it from actually being able to reason with you, to talk to you, like as if it was, the same as you are, on the same level. Of course, younger kids, again, they have lower intelligence, but to me that doesn't mean anything. They have intelligence. They have words. They're meant to say something. They're meant to say something, and you're meant to hear them out at some point. How can you judge a child and know what's wrong with them if they're not connecting to you, if they're not telling you? You can't read their mind. You can guess, but guesses can be wrong. So, yeah. A good way to do it is put your, mind in your old childhood. That could be something. But, we don't have a lot of people doing that either. So, I think the best way to go, the most basic way to go, is to allow your child to speak and give them the opportunity to kind of be on the same level as you are. Don't let them be scared to talk to you. It's good to have leadership over your child. That's good. But it's also good for your child to have a little bit of leadership too, so that they can speak up. They need leadership so that they can actually know the right thing to say to you. If they don't have any leadership, the one thing they might do is keep secrets. You don't want them to start doing that in the house. You don't want them to start keeping secrets in the house and not telling you anything. To me, that means they have no leadership. Because one thing about leadership is speaking up, telling someone, "Hey, I have a problem here. What's the best way I can fix it?" So, another thing that makes it hard for children to have leadership, which I will talk about later, is when parents get too angry at what their child tells them. So, I'll talk about that on another video. Yeah. Anyway, I guess that's about all I have to say. That's the reason why I do not, say yes ma'am, sir, and all that other stuff. Adults, people who are older than me, just because they're older, they're not better than me. I don't care what age they're at. They're just as human as I am, and I am as they are. So, I'm going to be their age one day too. I'm just going to treat myself the same as them, and treat them the same as me, in a respectful way at the same time. I have my own leadership too. I follow my own beliefs just as well as they do. We're practically the same people, except one of us knows better than the other. So, summarize a little bit. That's pretty much. So yeah, again, one might say, hey, you say it for a way of respect, but always keep in mind, I'm telling you now, I must not be respected, because no one ever says it to me. Adults don't ever say it to any other adult either. It's at least not often. So I just don't see a reason to even bring up the word sir, ma'am, and all this other stuff. But it's not like society will ever follow that type of rule. This is how the tradition is now. And I can almost guarantee you, it will be permanent. The way life becomes, stays, until something else gets added on. A couple things may change a little bit, but it stays. And there's reasons for that, which I'll talk about one day. But a lot of things about life rarely ever, change. At least in some regions. This one, for the matter, yeah. Life goes by slow. That's why the changes take so long to make. It goes by too slow, I mean, think about it. If it takes a long time, if life is gonna, not life, but if we force ourselves to take a long time, meaning by law, the laws say, hey, it's gotta take you years to get to where you wanna be, then that's how you know life is gonna go by very slow for the human race. If it has to take a long time for a person to become something in life, then it shouldn't. I don't believe it should. And I think Bruce Almighty Lee has taught us that. Yeah, I just saw a couple of videos of him yesterday, so that's why I brought him up. I watched him, man, and I was like, wow. I knew Bruce Lee was great, but I didn't see this shit. If that stuff was real, man, I'm pretty sure it was real. I mean, that's what it was based off of. Holy crap. The things that Bruce Lee does makes the average human being look like shit, and I'm glad. Thank you, Bruce Lee. Thank you. I'm so proud of that. We needed that. And I'm going to bring him up in another conversation, because we need to know how shitty we are. The average human being, we need to know how untalented we are. We have nothing compared to him, man. He's like a fucking god with the things that he did. And he wasn't even old to master all of that. It just shows how slow we are as human beings. We're so slow. We haven't mastered one thing, the average human being. The average human being hasn't mastered being able to walk on their hands, or mastered being able to sing. The average human being hasn't mastered to be able to run super fast or jump super high or any of that. We haven't mastered anything physical, or even anything as far as talent in general. We haven't actually been able to, the average human being hasn't actually been able to do anything special like that too much. It's either we've tried it, done it a couple times, and we're kind of good at it, that's it. And now we're old, drinking beers and sitting down as couch potatoes, having to go to work. And that's all we have. So, yeah, I'm a leader, I control myself. So, I'm gonna treat you, no matter what age you're at, as if you're on the same level as me. I'm gonna give even little kids that same mutual respect. I know I might be called stupid, but I feel for them. I do. I give them that same mutual respect as well. I don't treat them like they're truly little kids, or like they're dumb or something. No, I even talk to them like they're an adult. They understand me perfectly. They're not as dumb as we think they are. I'm going to talk about that too on another conversation. They are not dumb. I talk to them exactly like they're an adult. I mean, I can literally communicate with them like the same way. It's just, yeah, their intelligence is a little lower, but it's not as if it, subtracts their humanity away at all. They deserve respect a lot more than they ever receive in this time period. And if they ever did receive enough respect, they'd be able to be a better person and respect people just as well. They see these things. They do. So, anyway, I know I'm going to have a problem with this this type of topic, probably with one of my aunts, because she teaches her kids, which are my cousins, obviously, that say that stuff, sir, ma'am, and all that shit. One of my cousins didn't like it when I called her by her first name at all. He didn't like it. He was like, "It's aunt." So, whatever. I don't really care. I wait until that particular person tells me I want to be called by this. Tommy. Well, anyway, that's all for me. So, thanks for watching up until the end. If you have, thanks for watching, anyways. Yeah, I'm gonna be talking for a long time, perhaps forever. I guess maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna be on here for a long time, long time. Like, even in the future, when things go exactly as planned, I'll still be talking on here, talking to the whole world. Right now, I should mention how many views I have on YouTube. I haven't really been actually trying to. I haven't tried hard enough to get my video some views, to tell people about it or whatever. So I only got like zero views on all my videos at the moment. Technically, it's about maybe 10, 12, 20, but those views are me. That it's all me. When I kept viewing back, going back to the page to see, fix things on, test things on my video or whatever. So those are all my views, but not any actual public views. So yeah, it's expected though. I mean, I have to kind of add some popularity to my videos a bit, maybe, if promoting is the right word, maybe promote some or something like that, let people know about it. But either way, what matters more is that this is all for the future, to kind of influence people to be on my side. Well, I believe I'm a leader now, but one day I'm going to be a much bigger leader, and I want these videos to kind of help influence people to follow me. I'm going to be a very big leader one day. I know it. I know that, of course. So I can't wait for that. It'll be the greatest days ever. The best days. Follow me in the future. Thank you.